Day two of the NFL draft has come and gone for the Seattle Seahawks, and let's just say it was an interesting experience to say the least.
Kenneth Walker, running back, Michigan State.
Oh. Now, let me take you through a little bit of the day two experience. For me, at least, first things first, we get the second round started. The draft board falls very well for the Seattle Seahawks. Some great pass rushers and a very good corner whose name just so happens to be Andrew Booth Jr. falls to our back-to-back selections at 40 and 41. And with pick 40, the Seattle Seahawks, after making a great selection in round one, make yet another very good pick.
In the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Boye, Mafe, linebacker, Minnesota.
Pass rusher? I respect it. I respect the pass rusher play. I think this was a good pick. This is not a bad pick. I just really wanted Andrew Booth, and I'm kind of upset that we did not pick Andrew Booth immediately. But we have another pick. Boye Mafe. Now, I hope I'm not butchering that too bad, but boy, is he an interesting prospect. Incredibly athletic pass rusher. I was confused by how he's labeled as a linebacker because every highlight I've ever seen of him, he's been on the D-line. But my God, is this man athletic. He is not maybe the most technically sound. He's not going to be like an Aiden Hutchinson in technicality. But what he lacks in technicality, he makes up for in just pure athleticism. And it's fun to watch. But that is a very good pick for the Seattle Seahawks. And at 41, of course, we have Andrew Booth on the board. Corner is a pretty large position of need. What do the Seahawks do? Uh-oh.
The Seattle Seahawks select Kenneth Walker, running back, Michigan State.
Ooh.
Okay, young man from Tennessee began his career at Wake Forest.
That's peculiar. That is peculiar. Kenneth Walker. Running back in round two. I would have really enjoyed a pass rush into corner pick. That would have been nice, but pass rush into running back, not at all expected. I don't think anybody in the world expected the Seahawks to take running back in the second round. We took a running back in the second round. Now, don't get me wrong. All right? Don't get me wrong. I like Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is a good player. He is a very good player. Maybe the best running back in the class. But running back in the second round, I mean, this is basically just telling everybody that Chris Carson isn't playing this year. And, I mean, I guess hypothetically it makes sense for the future because we don't have any running backs under contract after this season. So if Rashad Penny doesn't continue to be an absolute goated running back who averages like 200 yards a game, I guess this is good for the future. But when you have Andrew Booth at a position of need right there, I think that's who I wanted at that pick. I would have been incredibly happy with a Boye Mafe, incredibly athletic pass rusher, into an Andrew Booth Jr. pick. However, not all hope is lost for the Seattle Seahawks. We go into the third round, pick 72. An incredibly interesting anomaly is occurring in this draft in which no quarterback is being taken in the second round. After Kenny Pickett went to the Steelers at 20, no quarterback goes in those next 50 picks. And the Seahawks at pick 72, in a pick where a lot of people wanted quarterback, who do we take here? I mean, I like Abraham Lucas still on the board, but other than that, I don't know. Let's listen to Shaquem. Let's see what Shaquem's going to say. Dude, he is rocking the Gucci suit. God. Okay. I like Shaquem Griffin. He's a cool guy. He's a swell guy.
With the 72nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Abraham Lucas.
Let's go. I like that pick. Yes, sir, Shaquem Griffin. We made a good pick. Dude, we got two very good linemen. Abraham Lucas. Nice pick. I will take an Abraham Lucas. I enjoy an Abraham Lucas. Very solid pick Intel from Sprody coming in, good pick, and I agree wholeheartedly. I am a big fan of this pick. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think it would have been fun to get a quarterback, someone that you can really put a name to this draft. Put a guy that you can watch succeed or fail very easily to this draft. But does it make the most sense when probably one of the best quarterback classes we're going to see is next year? It makes a lot of sense for the Seattle Seahawks to bolster the offensive line and build for next year's draft to get a quarterback. Let Drew Lock go into the fire. Let him fail. If he's going to fail, we have our first round pick. If he does good, cool. Abraham Lucas, I'm a big fan of this selection. He looks like a fantastic run blocker, maybe a little bit lacking in the pass blocking, but if everything turns out well for Abraham Lucas, he looks like a very solid guy. That was someone I would have been happy with taking in the second round, and we got him in round 3. He's a hometown kid. Really like this pick. And if we're lucky with Abraham Lucas, we could have just shored up our left tackle for the future and right tackle for the future in Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross. An absolute incredible pairing. And, eventually Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, and whoever the other one was goes in the 3rd round. But I'm not too mad at that. A lot of people are upset that we didn't take Malik Willis. I'm not mad whatsoever. But now, let's get into the fun things. Let's get into watching some highlights. Let's start with Boye Mafe. Someone that maybe isn't the most familiar from a lot of people. I wasn't too familiar. I've seen some things about him. He wasn't the guy I expected to pick. I think Nick Bonito would have been a very cool pick, mainly because I like his last name. But let's take a look at some Boye Mafe, right? So right here, I think these 2 plays exemplify what he can do for us. He may not be the most technically sound guy, but he is athletically gifted. And you'll see right here, he uses some pretty good technique as well as his incredible athleticism to just destroy this offensive lineman and make a play. Let me just play it real quick. Look at this. What are you doing? This offensive lineman just got bodied. Mafe just decided he was going to take out his arms, did a little oopty-boopty, I don't even know what it's called, and he got around him. Strip sack. That's a Jamal Adams play right there. Incredible play from Mafe right there. And then this. I think this shows a little bit more about, maybe his technicality isn't the greatest, but boy, oh boy, will he absolutely body you because he is going to be faster and stronger than you in every single which way. Incredible play by him. Great sack. I mean, just this offensive lineman right here. He didn't stand a chance. Number 50, he looks 50. Hey, remember when we saw Trevor Penning absolutely begging for it? Lucky Deshaun Watson wasn't in the stands. Once again, this number 50 looks like Deshaun Watson on the massage table. Just, it's not a good look for number 50 there. Now, I'm not going to show any highlights for Kenneth Walker. 1, because all the highlights I could find are copyrighted, okay? And 2, because we know he's a good player. I want to try and rectify this pick for the Seattle Seahawks. John Schneider, Pete Carroll. All right. This pick was perplexing, was peculiar. However, I do believe that this pick makes a little bit of sense for Pete Carroll and John Schneider. Now, would I have rather had Andrew Booth Jr.? Of course. However, as we saw running back starting to get taken late second, and in the 3rd round, maybe we wouldn't have had a good running back option at the 4th round pick that we have. And with Chris Carson having his neck injury, this is probably telling us that Chris Carson isn't going to be playing this season. Rashad Penny is on a 1-year rental prove-yourself deal. The only running back on roster that will be under contract after this season is DJ Dallas. Now, assuming we are going all in for a full rebuild year, this is maybe not a year where we're looking to really try and compete and make the playoffs under Drew Lock. It makes sense for us to focus on something like this, where, maybe we skip on a corner that we could have easily filled a big position of need. However, we get a running back that might be the best running back in the entire class. He's a great player. I don't think anybody's doubting that Kenneth Walker is a great player. I think people are doubting the fact that the Seahawks needed to take him at pick 41 when there were so many other options. But I think this is the most Seahawks pick that could have been made. It wasn't a need necessarily. This was a want. This was someone Pete Carroll wanted. And, I guess if we don't want Rashad Penny or Chris Carson back after this next year, especially if Chris Carson can't play because of his neck injury, then we have our running back for the next 3 years after Rashad Penny's gone. This hypothetically makes sense if Rashad Penny sucks nuts and Chris Carson doesn't come back from injury. Would I have rather had Andrew Booth Jr.? Yes. Is this an okay pick? Yes. I don't think this is a complete and utter terrible pick. This is just not the best pick that could have possibly been made. It was confusing in the moment and upsetting because Andrew Booth Jr. literally went one pick after. But I don't think this is a terrible pick. It just is not a great pick, okay? I think the Seahawks are 3 for 4 through day 1 and 2. Kenneth Walker, I don't think it was the right pick, but I don't think that it was something that we really are going to regret in the future because I think Kenneth Walker is going to be a good player. It was just kind of, it doesn't make sense in the current moment. But now let's move on to Abraham Lucas. Let's get back on the happy train. Abraham Lucas, look at this guy. Looking good. He's got the nice beard. He's got the nice hair. He's got the nice face. Handsome man. We are very good at drafting handsome offensive linemen this year. Okay, let's get into some actual clip. All right, so right here, we got Lucas right on that right tackle edge, and look at what he does. Number 44, where are you going? Absolutely in a box. That man made no forward progress. All right, let's just see. So 44 starts at the 41-yard line. Where does he make it to in getting pressure? Barely the 40. That man got 1 yard of anything. He got 1 yard on Abraham Lucas. And that's in pass protection. That's what Abraham Lucas is weak at. And now let's move on to a clip from the Senior Bowl where the only things I've seen from the Senior Bowl is Trevor Penning getting bodied. So this is pretty impressive to me, at least. Abraham Lucas kind of gets pushed back, but then look at him. Anchored down. Where is he going? 52 gets nothing off of him after just anchoring down. Compared to what I saw from Trevor Penning, getting pushed back and then throwing the defensive lineman into your quarterback's legs, I will be very happy with this Abraham Lucas. Hometown kid. I enjoy seeing guys like that get picked to their teams. Kenny Pickett to the Steelers, even though I'm not a Steelers fan, it's a fun pick because he played at Pittsburgh. He's going to stay in Pittsburgh. Something like this. Played Washington State. Staying in Washington State. It's a cool thing to happen. I'm very happy with the Boye Mafe pick and Abraham Lucas pick. Kenneth Walker, I'm going to have to really convince myself to like this pick. But overall, I don't think this is a terrible day for the Seattle Seahawks. So far, this draft has not been a terrible day. All right. I think the Seattle Seahawks messed up big time taking Kenneth Walker. But maybe he's just an incredible running back, and he proves them correct. I think Andrew Booth would have made more sense to fill a position of need right now. But maybe there's some corners that we like in day 3. There's one guy that I really like. His name is Kobe Bryant. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if he's good or not. He played for Cincinnati. That's the same college that Desmond Ridder played for. But his name is Kobe Bryant. That's just awesome, dude. If we can draft Kobe Bryant, oh my God, I don't care if he's good or not. Throw him on the field. But I guess I'm going to be looking at guys that I want for day 3. I think Tariq Woolen or something like that is another good corner. I think he's the best corner on the board right now. There's some good linebackers still there, good DNs because there's a lot of depth there. Maybe we could look at throwing some gambles at some interior offensive linemen. There's some guys that we could still go for. And day 3, I don't think it's going to be as interesting, perplexing, and peculiar as day 2 was. I don't think it's going to be as happy time as day 1 was. But overall, the Seattle Seahawks have done surprisingly well. Even with the Kenneth Walker pick, I'm surprised on how solid we're doing in this draft. But Let me know down below in the comments what you think about these selections. You know, I would say grade each selection today. I think the Boye Mafe pick is a B plus. I think Abraham Lucas is an A. I think the Kenneth Walker pick is a C, maybe a D. Not a huge position of need. Maybe it could be if injuries continue to plague the Seahawks running backs like they have in the past. But currently, when you had better options on the board to fill bigger positions of need, I think that Kenneth Walker pick was early. That's just my opinion. Let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are on this. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a great day.